It's Rexcellent.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of As Father and Son. I'm Andy, and I like tacos.
I'm Aiden, I love pizza.
Okay, this is our recap of, what is it?
Season 7 of the Star Wars The Clone Wars, Episode D.
Episode D. Episode 2! Man, it was so good. I loved it. Did you love it?
I did loved it.
I said that last time, didn't I? I did.
You did.
I did.
You
Okay,
did.
First things first. We start off, and almost right off the bat, we find out that it's possible that Rex knows about Anakin
And Padme.
and Padme. That's crazy.
What I think he pretty much does. I mean, the episode all but spoilers, by the way, for this episode. But,
Oh, yeah.
The episode all but confirmed it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The episode all but
Hey,
confirmed.
I don't know if he knew they were married, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he did.
A married thing. The married part's an easy thing to hide. But when it comes to their relationship, that was pretty obvious to everybody.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, especially the way he was running after her all the time.
I know, for real. So, I mean, that Rex obviously knows something's going on.
Yeah, obviously he's in on it.
So, Anakin's in there talking to Padme, and here comes Obi-Wan. And so Rex warns Anakin, and then Obi-Wan, Anakin ends up coming out, and Obi-Wan's talking to him. And then Obi-Wan lays it out, man. And what does he say?
I hope you. You just said. I hope you at least told Padme I said hello.
Mind blown.
Like that means he knew they had to have some sort of relationship.
Exactly. So
Which
apparently
hasn't not yet ever been revealed before, if you knew or not.
Yeah, I know. So Obi-Wan obviously knew something was going
Although
on.
it was kind of hinted to in the season 6 episode. Remember when Obi-Wan's coming into the room to try to talk with Anakin, and he's like, "It's not that we're not allowed to have these feelings. It's more so." It's in the Clovis episode.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
So he could already knew there was a relationship, and I think that just kind of made
Well, and of course, and that goes. So I mean, Obi-Wan's obviously somewhat understanding because of his relationship with Satine. Yeah, from the earlier Clone Wars. So they got that going on. So Obi-Wan obviously knows something. I personally think that Obi-Wan knew that they had some sort of relationship, but maybe didn't know that that Anakin and Padme were actually married.
Yeah, flat out married. I like how they furthered Anakin and Rex's friendship. Because we've seen them interact with each other before and all that, but I don't know if we ever got this deep of a sense of friendship between the two of them that they have now.
I think that's really cool how they explored Rex's and Anakin's relationship, because I mean you got two guys that are together all the time. All the time. I mean, they were probably together, I would venture to say, more than Anakin and Obi-Wan were together. So it's really cool to see that relationship and for them to explore that. And I bet they're going to explore that further as they get into Order 66 and when all that goes down. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So let's move on to then when the Bad Batch and Rex and Anakin are going out to Skeko Minor. Yeah. I can't believe I remember that. Yes. High five. Yeah.
Excellent.
So they go to Skeko Minor, and they're on the ship, and I thought the part where Wrecker has his turkey leg and he's lifting the power droid, that was pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Because Wrecker's just that big, massive, strong guy that's like, rah, rah, rah. And so they totally played into that. I thought that was fun. And also, I would like to point out as a parent that I was very thrilled that Wrecker actually said heck. Which I was totally, honestly.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. Also, I think it's funny that they played into the fact that here's this big burly guy who's scared of heights, which that was really funny to me.
Yes.
I thought that was great. That was
when I fall, it's just when I'm up high, I have a problem with gravity.
That was awesome.
That was funny.
That was a great line. I loved it.
Oh, real quick, when I wanted to mention something,
Yes.
when they were in the ship and he was lifting the Gonk droid and stuff, he's actually in that scene. It's very interesting how when Rex asks, Anakin asks Hunter how many missions they've been on, and he says, Hunter puts it as all the action kind of blurs together. So he lost count of how many missions the Bad Batch has been on by themselves. But then when Rex asks Hunter who they report to, Hunter didn't really have an answer.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell whether Hunter was just deliberately not telling them or he didn't know himself.
Exactly.
And so if you think about it, the Bad Batch are still clones, so they could still have they could still go Order 66.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is they always operate by themselves. So even if they did, it wouldn't matter because there'd be no Jedi around them to destroy.
Well, yeah, but they could also just report to wherever they wanted to report to.
Yes, but that's the question is who do they report to? And are they like for some
No, I'm talking about, no, I agree, but I'm saying like they could go anywhere they wanted to go. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, they could go anywhere they wanted to go. And that's crazy because we talked about how the Bad Batch is like this precise unit, man. They function as a unit. They're tight. They know what they're doing.
They have plans, like you call them out.
Mm-hmm. And we both think it's going to be very interesting to see if the Bad Batch doesn't play into Order 66 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be really cool to find out. Okay, then we go and they arrive at the village and they're going to go try to find Echo, and then they start giving Rex a hard time, and Rex starts giving them a hard time. And I want to draw attention to something, because if you go and watch for the sake of
everything
righteous and holy, please, if you haven't watched Rebels, go watch Rebels.
Watch Rebels.
It's so good.
It will change your life for the better. And I mean, I know you're probably
it will align the planets.
It will align
bring
the
them into universal harmony.
Universal harmony. The writing in the show is amazing. I mean, I've heard plenty of people say like when they just didn't really get into it. And I mean, maybe it's just because like at first the first season seems almost just like a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
Until you really get into it, then it's like, oh no, this is not a kid's cartoon. This is like, yikes.
I mean, they explore so many avenues in Rebels, and it's just the neatest thing to watch. All these characters from Clone Wars come into their new surroundings and new things.
And the character progression is phenomenal.
And the character progression is absolutely phenomenal. So it's really, really a good show. But my point is, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Rebels, Rex is in Rebels. He's in there, and he's older Rex, but oh my gosh, he's a boss in that, just like he's a boss in the Clone Wars. And this episode just proves how Rex will not back down. He just does not back down. Okay, so Rex goes to stand up to the Bad Batch because everybody's talking smack to everybody else, and Rex just stands up to him. And then Wrecker goes and lifts him up, and then Rex stands up to Wrecker says,
"You'll be a lot smaller when I'm through with you."
I know, right? Stands up to Wrecker.
Because he's just mad.
Rex is a boss, man. We love Rex. Rex is fantastic.
He's Rexcellent. This is not a moment of laughter. This is a moment for seriousness.
It's a moment of seriousness. Be serious, for Pete's sake. Be serious.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So let's talk about Rex for a minute. How Rex stands up to the Bad Batch. Mm-hmm. Because in that scene, Rex just goes boss.
He's pretty angry.
He's angry, but he cares about Echo. So, and he also says, you know, he had seen so many of his brothers die in the war, and so many of his brothers.
He said he tried not to get attached to any of them.
I know, but that would have to be hard.
I know, right?
I mean, you see all these guys in war. I mean, it's just war all the time. That's his life, and so you know he finally has a chance to save somebody. So, buddy, he's gonna do it. You know, because he's Rex.
It's cool how Star Wars kind of brought into a literal sense, like when you're on the military, like on the battlefield, you're kind of like brothers.
Yeah.
But Star Wars kind of brought it into a literal sense, like how they literally were all clone brothers.
Yeah, it's really cool how they did it.
Like that kind of makes you understand better how the real military guys feel.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And thank you, military people.
Yes, thank you very much, military people.
We appreciate it. Thank you for what you do. So we see Wat Tambor, who's still around, just like Trench is still around. So these guys will not go away. And then they break in and they...
Wat Tambor was captured, but I guess he got out somehow.
Who knows? Well, they break in and they find the droids and they start fighting droids. And here's something that I noticed, and you and I talked about this. Mm-hmm. I think that what they're doing in Season 7 is they're making Anakin a little more mature, a little more methodic, and a little more controlled than he has been in previous episodes. Now, who knows where they're going to go with it. But this episode, just watching him fight, it's like they animated him to where he was very controlled and very methodic, and I think that's very interesting because he is at a mature point in his career, as if you will, as a Jedi.
Mm-hmm. And so he's a full-blown knight.
Yeah, and so
not that it wasn't before. But.
Well, yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where they go in future episodes with that, if they do anything with that, and if that plays into anything. Well, then, of course, they realize that Echo is alive. And he's a cyborg. Which was crazy.
And he was in stasis.
And a little creepy.
And, yeah, a little creepy.
So, but it was cool, though, the way that they did it. So they got him.
It was, like, intense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. So Rex got him, found him, and hopefully he's going to get him out of there. And we hope the Echo makes it, and it'll be...
Yeah, it sort of ended on, like, okay, Echo's alive, and then done.
I know. So it was very interesting. I guess that about covers all of the episode. You got anything you want to add?
The real question is, do I have anything I want to multiply, divide, or subtract?
Okay, so if you'd like to see our review of Season 7, Episode 1 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, just click here.
And click here if you want to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and like the video if you actually liked it.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and until the next time we see you, Maclunkey!